Now that we got a full night's worth of sleep, I got a chance to process the Miami Dolphins' first round picks. I would like to say that maybe I was a little bit harsh last night when I recorded the Miami Dolphins selecting Tua in the with their first pick at number 5. Um, you know what? I'm gonna do damage control here. I'm gonna do damage control. When I sit back and I evaluate Tua again, I do not. I'm not hating on his game. I feel like he's the best quarterback in the 2020 draft as far as ability wise, throwing the football or whatnot. My only concern was the injuries. I just wanted to get that out the way because a lot of folks get that confused. I'm not hating on the ability. My only thing was, could the Miami Dolphins offensive line protect Tua? Now, I would have been good if the Miami Dolphins would have drafted one of the top 5 offensive linemen at number 5, and then somehow he was or vice versa, was able to trade that 18th pick down and be able to get Tua, or like I said, vice versa. If we could get Tua at number 5 and somehow get somewhere in back into the top 10 to be able to get either Becton or Jedarick Willis or Wirfs, that would have been great. But it ended up happening. But back to Tua. I'm gonna do damage control here. I literally thought about it all day today. I was thinking, I was like, man, let's evaluate the Miami Dolphins offensive line right now. It really doesn't look that bad. We went out and got Eric Flowers. He's gonna be a little bit of a project. I know we just came off of a good season with the Washington Redskins at guard. We'll see how that goes. We end up getting Ted Karras from the New England Patriots at center, so I would assume that we can end up making that work. We got Michael Dieter last year in the 2019 draft. Have high expectations for him moving forward. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I think we have something to work with here. So I think I can swallow this pill. I can swallow this pill as far as this whole Tua situation. Now, as far as Josh Rosen goes, I'm a little bit upset the fact that we wasted a second round pick on Josh Rosen if we're just gonna go out and go get Tua anyway. But I guess I honestly think, and I want to be careful how I say this, I feel like this wasn't just a Chris Greer and a Brian Flores decision. I strongly feel like this was a Stephen Ross decision, getting involved in this whole situation where the fan base, some of the folks majority of the fan base, they were pushing for Tua, and it was just one of those situations where we got to give the people what they want, just to give them something to believe in. Like, at the end of the day, most folks want the sexy pick and don't think about what's best for the that's just how I feel, man. But again, I'm not hating on the pick. After evaluating the Miami Dolphins offensive line, I feel like adding Tua, that we could do something. I can see it. I can see it. And I'm not even bull jiving with you. I can see it. I'm not telling you what you want to know. I can see it. I can run with it. But time will tell moving forward. Do I think he'll be a starter year 1? Me personally, when I was thinking about it, I was like, the amount of people that sat back and literally was like, Tua is the best quarterback in the draft since Andrew Luck. He has all the intangibles to be a great quarterback. So why not let him start? Well, I'm not going to just hand it to him. I honestly think that he needs to compete for the starting job, whether it be Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh Rosen. But again, like, it should be fair game once we go into training camp, and OTA's training camp. It's going to be a bit open season. Who's going to be the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback come preseason in July? We will definitely see. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Miami Dolphins 18th pick. And that was Austin Howard, offensive tackle out of USC. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. I really wanted Tristan Wirfs I really did. He was on the board. Uh, excuse me. He was on the board prior to that. We ended up not getting him. I wanted, if the Miami Dolphins were going to trade up to get him, trade back into the top 10, I felt like that should have been the pick, but it did not end up happening. But Austin Howard, last night, I think I was a little bit too critical of him. I really didn't see NFL starting him day one. I did a little bit of recon. I'm still I'm still disappointed because of the fact that he was not projected to go into the first round. Like when the Miami Dolphins are going to draft the offensive lineman, he needed to be slated in day one, no questions asked. He needed to be ready. And then when it comes down to Austin Howard, yes, I understand the fact that he donated his bone marrow to his sister because she had anemia, which played a big factor in his 2019 season, where he had issues with his strength, him being unable to lift weights going into that 2019 season really took an effect on him during the course of the season. So I'm not going to fault him for his strength issues, but as far as technique, there have been some issues with technique. He does show some promise. Most definitely is going to be a project player, but also he's good. You're just going to have to be patient with him. We're going to have to be patient with him. And patience is really not on our side when it comes to offensive linemen. We already being critical of Michael Dieter right now. Jesse Davis, I'm not really a fan of Jesse Davis. I'm still waiting for him to go. Ted Karras, we got him over from the New England Patriots. And we're just going to – Eric Flowers coming over from the Washington Redskins, just fresh off a season of playing guard in the NFL, did a fairly good, decent job. So I felt like at 18, well, us drafting an offensive lineman in general, it shouldn't have been a project player. It really should not have been a project player. It should have been the sure thing. It definitely should have been the sure thing, because I'm just to the point now where I'm just tired of the Miami Dolphins just plugging and playing and not taking the offensive line serious over the past decade, just throwing guys in there, trying to make it work, and it ends up not working. And I feel like it's even more important now that you bring in Tua, who has the injury history. You most definitely have to make that the focus of the 2020 NFL season. So time will tell when it comes down to Austin Howard. I will say this, though. In the 2019 season with USC, he only gave up 4 sacks, 9 hurries, 14 pressures, only gave up 1 quarterback hit. So that's not too bad, but there are some major concerns when it comes down to Austin Howard. Like I said, as far as his technique, they said he has some strength issues already. Told you that him unable to come in and lift weights could play a huge factor during the course of the season, at the beginning of the season, excuse me. So we will most definitely see how he's going to develop in the NFL. But to be quite honest with you, looking at our left tackle, Julian Davenport, outside of Julian Davenport, there's really not nobody right now at our left tackle position. So I would go ahead and it's a toss up how that's going to end up going, but we will see. Time will tell. But last but not least, this is the huge shocker pick for me. The huge shocker pick. But the Miami Dolphins last night, I was waiting for the 26th pick to come because it seemed like it took forever. I was going to go to sleep as soon as the Miami Dolphins ended up making that pick at 26. And then they ended up making the trade to the Green Bay Packers, where they sent the 26th pick, and in return they get the Green Bay Packers 30th pick and then also the 136th pick overall. Now we fast forward to the 30th pick. The Miami Dolphins ended up selecting Noah, bear with me here, Ogbenogany. Excuse me. I got to work on that. It's probably like my 3rd time since I said it. But cornerback out of Auburn. Now, I was thinking that the Miami Dolphins were most definitely going to go safety. I didn't think they was going to go cornerback. But after reading up on him a little bit, I understand why they did this. Like, this guy's a diamond in the rough. I think he's a diamond in the rough. A former wide receiver. You've seen wide receivers convert into corners. For example, like, I know it's a small sample size, but we had that with Tony Lippett. You saw Richard Sherman end up doing it. But I like what I see from Noah Ogunagani. Excuse me, I cannot pronounce that whatsoever. Definitely gonna have to practice that in the mirror. Great man-to-man bump and run corner, just how you like it. But you begin to wonder, because I was thinking about this before when the Miami Dolphins ended up going in free agency and signing Byron Jones. I was sitting there like, the Miami Dolphins have two of the top paid corners in the league right now, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard got in trouble. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. There's no way you draft a corner in the first round. Mind you, Noah Ogunagani was supposed to be a early second round pick, so we drafted him right around the right time, I would say. There's no fool like Xavier. Somebody's getting traded, man. I'm sorry, and Xavier looked like an odd man out. It really does. It really does, because you can't keep two of the top paid corners in the league, and then you draft a corner in the first round. Some people think that he's only tall enough to play nickel. No, they're saying that he's able to play on the outside. Like, this is a legit physical corner, that bump and run guy. My type of corners personally, where he has the opportunity to be a great lockdown corner in the NFL. That's what I'm reading. Okay, so that's time will tell when it ends up happening with Noah Ogunagani. But anyway, let me give you the measurables real quick. 5'10", 198 pounds. So he's not too short, but they said he played corner for 2 years at Auburn. He ran a 4.48 40 time, and both of his parents were Olympians. Interesting. So he's got some athleticism running in his family. But most importantly, he's a bump and run corner, not afraid to get his hands dirty in the running game. I like those type of corners. I love it. Like, you never can have too many corners. You literally can never have too many corners. But it does raise the question, what is going to happen with this Miami Dolphins back secondary? It's going to be very, very interesting. But I'm probably going to change my grade here. I'll give the Dolphins a C+. And the reason why I give them a C+ is because of the fact that I didn't like the way that the picks were executed. Again, I like the Noah, how do you pronounce this? Ogunagani. I like the pick, but to be honest with you, safety was more of a priority of need. Austin Howard at 18. I felt like that should have been the number one priority going into the 2020 NFL draft, was drafting NFL starting caliber tackle. I think that should have been priority number one. And then somehow, some way, we end up making that Tua move somehow. I don't know. Figure it out. But I'm going to give the Miami Dolphins a C+. I'll give him a C+, because before I gave him a C-, but I bumped it up to a C+. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is GreatOne DeVore. I'm up out of here.